Hello, welcome to Lil's Vintage World. So this video is a bit like one of my history book reviews, but it's all about the Tudors. I love the Tudors, you know I love the Tudors, and I know lots of you also love the Tudor period, and I thought, why don't I combine book reviews with the Tudors, mash it together. Recently, I have acquired some books on the Tudors and added these to my collection, a couple of which I've been sent for review, one of which was already part of my collection and I thought, I've recently read this, let's add this to the video. Now, all of these are from the same publisher, which is Amberley. Thank you to Amberley for sending me a couple of these books. And yes, if you want to acquire any of them after this video, they will be in the description bar below, so just click the description box and it'll take you straight to the book depository where you can check them out a bit further or purchase them if you want to. So getting started, the first book that I have to share with you is In Bed with the Tudors, The Sex Lives of a Dynasty from Elizabeth of York to Elizabeth I by Amy Licence. So this book is all about the Tudor royals. It's about their time in bed. It's about predominantly giving birth, but it's also about that infamous wedding night. Did it happen on the wedding night? Did it happen before that? Or in Catherine of Aragon and Prince Arthur's case, did it happen at all? It also discusses things like death, but most of the book is about royals and their lying in and their giving birth to, hopefully, that next heir. It's about the rituals that come with a woman of status. It does also discuss things like death and the end of life kind of care and process, but most of this book is about the rituals that come with a royal giving birth and the wedding night and things like that. This book has the very typical Amy Licence writing where it is detailed without using a whole load of words and jargon. It's very addictive, it's very smooth, it's very enjoyable to read. I think the thing that I enjoy most about Amy Licence's writing is that it's so scene setting. Like, you're in this book and you feel like you're a fly on the wall, like you're witnessing a wedding night or you're witnessing a royal giving birth. That's what I love about her writing, and that of course is what makes this book so special. This book is very fun, very addictive, and is perfect for those who's interested in the history of sexuality, interested in the history of birth, interested in women's history, or just generally if you're a Tudor geek like me, you'll enjoy it. The next book is one that I was sent for review, and it is Four Queens and a Countess, Mary Queen of Scots, Elizabeth I, Mary I, Lady Jane Grey and Bess of Hardwick, The Struggle for the Crown by Jill Armitage. Now, I have previously done a review on Our Bella Stuart, which is another one of Jill's books, which I'll leave up there for you to take a look at. That is another brilliant book on the Tudor period, but all about Our Bella Stuart. This book I was quite excited for because I thought it's another one of Jill's works and I really enjoy her writing style. This book I think is very much modern and getting ahead of the time, because this book is all about, in particular, one woman, Bess of Hardwick. Now, Bess of Hardwick is a fascinating woman, and it's all about her relationship that she had with these different queens. To some of them, she was a friend, she was a companion, she was a confidant. To others, she was a foe, an enemy, she was their jailer. It's about the relationship that she had with these women. It's very intriguing. So this book does talk about the women individually and their rise to power, etc. But it plays particular attention on the relationship that each of them had with Bess. I've really found this book really interesting. I think it needed to be a bit longer to really get it all in there, but I did really enjoy it. I thought it was really good and really fascinating. There aren't many books out there like this at all. The only one that I read recently, which is similar, which was The King's Pearl, also published by Amberley, funny enough, and that was on the relationship between Mary I and her father, Henry VIII. And I thought that was a really interesting book. This, again, it's about relationships, and that's the most interesting thing, isn't it? Not just learning about a person, but how a person interacts with another person, and it's really fitting the family together. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was absolutely fascinating. As I said, I wish it was a bit longer so it could just cover the basis a little bit more, but generally I really enjoyed it and thought it was fascinating, and I look forward to reading more by Jill in the future. And finally, last but definitely not least, I have a book which I can't pronounce. I did French at school, but I wasn't very good, So I'm not going to pronounce this in French, I'm going to pronounce it in English with the translation. Translates to The White Queen, Mary Tudor, A Life in Letters by Sarah Bryson. If you're good at French, take it away, but I'm not, and my pronunciation would be horrible. So this book is a full-length biography of Mary Tudor's life. Now, we are talking about Mary Tudor, Henry VIII's sister and daughter of Henry VII, Elizabeth of York. She was Queen of France. Not Mary Tudor, Henry VIII's daughter with Catherine of Aragon, known as Bloody Mary. Not that one, not Queen of England, Queen of France, the other one. Mary was quite a popular name. Mary had a fascinating life. During her life she was Queen of France. She then married a man without her brother's permission and was her brother's, one of his closest friends. She got on the wrong side of her brother but then won him back, and of course without her we wouldn't have Lady Jane Grey and her tragic story. So this is a full-length biography of Mary's life, and it is a full-length biography of Mary's life, and it's told by Sarah, but then the primary source evidence that she uses is letter formats. So this might be a letter in regards to her brother, it might be a letter she is writing to Cardinal Wolsey, it might be a letter that just isn't written by Mary but actually is about Mary, so between like councillors and things like that, or ambassadors, etc. I really enjoyed this, and the special thing about it is most of the time we actually have the full letter there for you to read. I adored it. Mary has a fascinating life and Sarah really brought her to life, and for me really brought Mary to the forefront of the Tudors, because Mary is absolutely fascinating. We think of these strong women of the Tudor period, Anne Boleyn, Elizabeth I, Mary Tudor's in Bloody Mary, Lady Jane Grey. We think of these really strong women, but actually Mary Tudor was so strong and intelligent. She is magnificent. She really used her femininity against men, and it was brilliant. Like, she worked out how to get what she wanted to achieve, and it's fantastic. One of the most fascinating things that I find about Mary is her relationship with her brother, because they genuinely really got on, and I struggled to get on with Henry the best of times, but here is a sister who loves her brother and a brother who loves his sister, and it's fascinating. So I read this book in 2 sittings. The only reason why it took me 2 sittings is because I started it on an evening and I had to go to bed. I woke up the next morning and the first thing that I did was open the book and start reading it again. I whizzed through it, I completely adored it. It's a 5-star read. It is absolutely poke me in the eye amazing. It is so good. I've never read anything by Sarah before, but oh, won't I look out for her books in the future. This book was warm, addictive, but it was one of those books that was still addictive, but yet you wanted to read it slowly to really soak up the words because you're enjoying it so much. I also really hated the fact that I was getting closer and closer to the end. I was like, no, it's coming to an end. And I knew she was going to obviously die because she can't be alive now. And I didn't want it to end. It was so, so good. Loved it. So that is it for my Let's Read About the Tudors. If you want to get your hands on any of these 3 books, as I said at the beginning, they will be linked in the description bar below. So click on the link, it'll take you straight to the book depository where you can check it out a bit further and purchase it if you want to. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you soon for the next video. Bye for now.